This next one is our 90-90 rotations here. These are pretty simple. Both knees have to be at 90 degrees as a starting point. You can start with your hands on the ground if you need to, but eventually the progression with this is to keep your hands up by your chest or even overhead. Now with this, we're gonna work on flipping the knees while keeping the heels stuck where they're at on the ground. So if I keep myself in that position here and just rotate over the top, I'm trying to open up at the hip and then close off at the hip all the way to where both knees touch the ground, and then work on coming back all the way in that opposite direction. These are meant to be slow. Don't rapid fire these. Take your time and work on that range of motion. This next one is called a hip controlled articular rotation, more FRC stuff here. We're gonna take our hip through flexion, abduction, internal rotation, and extension, and then reverse the range of motion. You're gonna need something to hold on to with this here. We want a straight arm and the inside leg to be solidified into the ground here. From that position, we're gonna bring our opposite knee up as high as you can. Make sure the toe is up. We want this whole leg to be stiff and controlled. Our entire upper body should not be moving throughout this range of motion. So I got my knee up. I'm gonna open it out to the side as far as I can. Then I'm gonna work on bringing that heel up while keeping the knee high. Get back into full internal rotation. Swing my leg back behind me without opening up my low back. And then bring my knee in. Now you're gonna reverse that range of motion. So back into hip extension, no low back here. Into internal rotation, hip abduction, flexion, and then back down. That's one rep. You're gonna do that on each side. All right, this next one is called an internal rotation lift off here. We're gonna get back into that 90-90 position that you were in, except this time instead of rotating, we're gonna be facing straight forward over your top knee. So knees are at 90-90s. Hands, one hand in between your legs, one hand on the outside here. Stay as tall as you can. We're gonna work on lifting through this hip while keeping this knee on the ground. Lift up, hold for a second, come back down. We wanna try not to lean forward to open up that leg. We wanna stay tall, feel some pressure and tension, lift, and then come back down. You're gonna do that with each side here for these internal rotation lift off. All right, now we're gonna talk about a hip extension here, hover. This is gonna be single leg on each leg. You're gonna be flat on the ground just like you have been. We want our arms behind us towards our hips here. From this position, you're gonna create some tension so your toes are down to start. We're gonna work on lifting that leg up, bringing it over, coming back down, up, over, come back down. Now with these, try to keep the knee bend to as minimal as possible and really work on getting extension through your hips.